Okay, we are going to differentiate x times e to the x over 1 plus e to the x. And we have to use the quotient rule and also the product rule. But it's okay, don't worry. As always, I will take care of you guys. We can do this one together. Anyway, quotient rule in action. Look at the big picture. So first, let's draw that big fraction bar. And before I do anything else, let's go ahead and square the denominator. So we have 1 plus e to the x to the second power like this. And then the quotient rule says we will have to maintain the bottom function right here. So be sure you put down parentheses with 1 plus e to the x inside. And then we have to differentiate the top function. And notice the derivative of x times e to the x, it requires the product rule, right? So we are going to multiply, and I will do this one in blue. Let's see what we will have. And I'm going to put a parentheses as well, because we have to multiply this and that later on. Anyway, for the derivative of the top, product rule in action, I will keep the first function, namely x, and then multiply by the derivative of the second. Derivative of e to the x is just e to the x. And then to continue, we add it with the second function, which is e to the x, and then times the derivative of the first, which is just a 1. So this part is the derivative of the top, right? So let me just indicate this right here for you guys. Maybe it's the derivative of x times e to the x, just like that. All right, and then the quotient rule continues. We are going to minus, don't forget it's a minus right here, minus the top function, which is x, e to the x. And then we multiply by the derivative of the bottom function. Derivative of 1 is 0, derivative e to the x is e to the x. So we will just multiply by e to the x like this. And also let me indicate that this is the derivative of the bottom function, 1 plus e to the x, like that. All right, so this right here is the calculus step. And then we will follow this part right here, the first part right here, and then combine terms. And hopefully things works out pretty nicely. Let's take a look. On the top, I will do 1 times this, which is just that, namely x e to the x. And then I will do 1 times that, which is just that, plus e to the x. And then I will do e to the x times that. And you see, e to the x times e to the x, you add the exponents. X plus x is x squared. And then we still have this x. So this times this is x, and then e to the 2x. And lastly, for this part, you take e to the x times e to the x, and once again you add the exponents, so you get plus e to the 2x. So that's for this multiplication right here. And then we have to multiply this and that's a minus in between. X times e to the x times e to the x, you add the exponents right here, so you have this x, and then e to the 2x. All right, that's pretty much it. And then for the denominator, it stays the same, 1 plus e to the x, and then square. And now take a look, is there anything that we can do? Yes, because nicely enough, this and that are the same but opposite sign, so we can cancel them out. Anything else that we can do? Nothing else, because they are all different terms. This and that, they have different exponents, so we cannot combine anything. Anyway, I will just write this down as follows. I will just put this down as how it is, x e to the x plus e to the x plus e to the 2x, and then all over that for the denominator, namely 1 plus e to the x, and then you square that, right? So this right here is a totally legit answer. That's it if you would like. You can box this if you would like. However, sometimes people like to factor things out. In that case, notice e to the 2x, it's like saying e to the x times e to the x, right? So I can factor out an e to the x on the top. Let me write it down for you. I will just factor out the e to the x and put it in the front, or put it at the end actually. I'll put that at the end. So I have this e to the x like this, or over that 1 plus e to the x squared. And then for this parentheses, for this term, we have x. And then for this term, we have plus 1. And then for this term, we only took one of the e to the x out. So we have another e to the x. Right? So if you want to factor things out, maybe it looks like this. But anyway, maybe I will present this for you guys for the answer. And that's it.